introduce Dr. Amy Warke, Assistant Superintendent for Learning and Instruction.
Thank you, Mrs. Westerlund. It's my pleasure to talk to you tonight about all of the information that you see behind me tonight. Dr. Persin and Mrs. Westerlund did a fabulous job talking about all of the initiatives in the district. This is an unprecedented time in education, and there are many changes that are occurring, and they are mandated from the state. The Common Core State Standards is one of the many changes that is happening and occurring within education. And we have highly qualified teachers that are doing an amazing job that are mapping and unit planning and lesson planning to all of the Common Core standards in math and in ELA. So the teachers in this district are fabulous and have just done amazing things with your children. So they deserve definitely a round of applause for all of the work they're doing. Those Common Core standards really do tie into that 21st century learning that's going in. We do have e-chalk that is occurring. The ISAT testing, this is the last year that the students will be taking ISAT testing. So that test that is occurring in March, it will be all Common Core aligned, and this will be the last year for that testing. There is math testing, that is how we are really working on growth and really looking and focusing on student growth. So we continue to take the math testing. Again, curriculum mapping to the Common Core learning standards. Really working with differentiation, personalized learning, again tied to the Common Core learning standards. Using data, how does data align? What does data about each of your children tell us, and how does that help inform instruction that is occurring in the classroom? So again, all of these things, how are they aligning? e-chalk, that homeschool connection, how is that really helping you connect into the classroom? So these are all of the things that are occurring that are helping us connect with you and helping your student learn in those classrooms. Curriculum mapping, as we said, is one of those ways that we are really working on our unit and lesson planning. And in order to do that, how are we showing you what those students are doing in the classroom? And it's one of those ways to make learning visible. After tonight, we are starting to make those maps visible to parents. And what exactly is that going to look like? This is the software that the district purchased to work on those curriculum maps. You will be able to have a login. And for example, this is the 7th grade math map. You will be able to log in, and then you would have to click on the link where it says 7th grade math advanced. That's right here. After you click on that, you can then see the content, the skills, and then the assessment that is right there. Now, you will not be able to view the assessment that the teachers are giving. It is password protected. So all the hard work that the teachers do and the assessments, there are pre and post. You will be able to see that teachers have created assessments. You will be able to see the name of the assessment. However, you will not have access to that assessment. So we are putting up on the curriculum page, so again, on the district website, on the curriculum office, there will be links to all of the curriculum K through 8, and you will be able to have links on there, but again, you won't have access to any of those assessments. Yes? Because we really do not want you to pre-teach the students the skills and the content, so you will have access to the content and the skills, but not to the assessments the teachers are giving. So, but you will have access and you will be able to look at the curriculum and the skills. So it is at this time that I'd like to introduce to you Clay Graham from Advantage Analytics, and he's going to discuss with you information about ISAT and No Child Left Behind.
Thank you, Amy. Where's the clicker?
Oh, it's right here.
Thank you. Let's take a clicker. As many of you know, the state of Illinois is changing from the traditional ISAC to Common Core. They've also changed cut scores to a whole bunch of things. I'm here to add a little bit of clarity, attempt to add a little bit of clarity of what is going on. First of all, there's no question there's more scrutiny going on with education now than probably ever before. Okay, the first thing that is changing are the cut scores. How many of you know what cut scores are? Don't be ashamed if you don't know. Okay, so it's basically the levels at which the state evaluates what is exceeding, meeting, below, or warning standards. From 2012 to 2013, there was a major shift, and we're going to show a graphic of that. Number two, not only the cut scores changing, what is acceptable from the No Child Left Behind categories are also changing. In particular, 2012, you had to have 85% of your examinations meeting or exceeding the state standard to have the school in a satisfactory position. That is changing to 92.5%. Huge change. So they're changing cut scores and changing the level of acceptance. So not only is it going to be more difficult to make the cut scores, you're having a higher standard by which to be much more rigorous. What can you expect? The cut scores were changed in 2006, 2012, and again now in 2013. So things are changing dramatically. Let me give you an example. Here you can see that the cut scores for the category of exceed go from 227 to 236. That's a big jump. Also, this year, 2013, they incorporated 20% of the Common Core questions. There was concern that Common Core was going to reduce the scoring of the tests. That, in fact, with the 2013 data, is not proved to be true. This shows meet and exceed in 2012. And you can notice there's a great amount of inconsistency. In particular, take a look at 8th grade reading, which shows that exceed means 10%, where 3rd grade math, exceed means 43%. Anybody have a problem with that? Exceed means completely different things depending on the grade and subject. How is that viable for comparison? In a word, it's not. So this presents a difficult situation. It has improved slightly in 2013, but the same situation still exists. You cannot compare grade subjects in a given year, much less between years. Very difficult situation. This shows the degree of variation between the 2012 cut scores and the 2013 cut scores. This is based on the tests that were taken in 2012. The information will be disembargoed effective November the 1st, but it's essentially the same thing. But here you can see overall that if you look at the far right, whoa, there we go. If you look here, you can see like exceeds goes from 25% down to 13%. Huge difference. So the whole categories of what they meant before has changed dramatically, much less being even more inconsistent. This is a distribution of what the scores look like. And here you can see that approximately 57% of the schools pass. By passing, it means 85% of your students achieved the meet and exceed category, and 85% of the students, in fact, did that in 2012. Anybody have any idea, with the change in the standards and the cut scores, how many schools will meet this standard? Go ahead.
0%.
No, not zero. But you're not too far off.
25%.
25%. I heard zero. I heard 25%. The true answer is 1.2%. And this, and here it shows a distribution of how those scores look. And here is another one that shows the before and the after of where they are. Huge variations. And you can see that only 1.2% of the schools will meet the standards of 92.5% compared to 85.5% with new cut scores. Does this make any sense to anyone that only 1.2% of the schools meet the state standard? Of course not. Number two, how many districts met the 92.5% standard? Keep in mind there are about 780 districts in the state. How many? 0. Any idea? A number. Let me give you a number. The number is 4. 4 districts in the state. This raises the whole credibility of using meet and exceed criteria. Last March, we were interviewed by the Tribune, and we forecasted that there would be 1.2% of the districts that would meet the state standard. And ironically, that's the exact number that came out. And let's look at it in summary. 2012, 57% of the schools passed. 2012 cut scores, 85%, no child left behind. 2013, 6% of schools passed with the 2000 cut scores, 85% standard. So you have the cut scores at 85, 6% passed, but if you implement both the cut scores and the new standards, only 1.2%. How is this going to affect Flossmoor? Not so hot, I imagine. And here you can see 2011, about 88.5% of the students met that standard, or schools met the standard, 86.7% in 2012, and about 60%. The actual number comes out somewhere around 58%. One should not be shocked at this. One should question the method of measurement. That's why I'm involved. Is that I will take and normalize the data, rank the information, and give Craig and Amy information they can use to make decisions on where they should place their money, in what programs, and set priorities. Very important process. 2014, what's going to happen? Common Core comes in, and it's going to get worse. So it's very important to keep track of what is viable and isn't viable, and one should not be scared when you see the meet and exceed numbers that come out on the first Sunday of November. Keep that in mind. Thanks a lot. Amy, back to you.
So we're in the process of transitioning from ISAT to PARC. So in 2013, the test the students took, 20% of that was ISAT Common Core questions. Again, our students are not learning less. I really want to emphasize that. Our students are not learning less, but the expectations are greater. In 2014, the test that we will be taking in March, 100% of those questions will be Common Core. So that is the test that the students are preparing for this school year. We will be field testing for the park, which the field testing will occur. We have randomly selected grades from students in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. So that testing will occur in March and again in May. And so that will happen this year. And then again in 2015, so in the 14-15 school year, PARC testing will begin. So that is how we will be transitioning from ISAT to PARC. Additionally, we wanted to let you know this is one of the first communications, and building principals will be having more communications for you in K through 5. This is not intended for everyone to see. So this is just to let you know, building principals will be having more communications with you. We are in a transition, and the K through 5 report cards were aligned to Common Core so that teachers would have an opportunity to have more discussions regarding students and data with language more aligned to Common Core. So building principals will be having opportunities to educate you at greater depth about this tool for communication for you. So this is just one of those opportunities to let you know that this is a transition card with more alignment of language to the Common Core. Also, you have heard several times now that we have Odyssey Learning for reading and for math. And this is a comprehensive digital curriculum that allows students to work on targeted assignments in reading and in math. This also allows for teachers to do whole group lessons with students in the areas of reading and math. And it also allows students to work on plugging holes, if you will. If there are areas that they need to have further instruction on, or if there are areas that they need to advance their learning on, this is software that can help them do that. They will be able to work on this in school and also at home. So you will see this start to roll out from now, and then more so you will definitely see this in your home by February. So we are rolling this out at a pace that will see them use it more at school, and then eventually you will see this in your home by spring. So we're very excited for the use of this tool. As the students are using this, they are very excited that they're using this. So this will be something that you will start to see more of as we start to really understand this tool. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Rebecca Brink, one of our fifth grade teachers.
Hi there. My name is Rebecca Brink. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Heather Hill. This is my second year with the iPads, my fifth year teaching. So I'm here to talk about the difference that I've seen in my teaching and then also with student learning. I've seen a big difference, obviously, in how I plan for instruction. I'm not planning for direct instruction so much anymore in front of the classroom, but more so I'm videotaping myself at home or in the classroom so that my students have the video. And Ms. Conley will talk a little bit more about flipped classroom. This leaves me more time for planning for extension activities and remediation plans for my students. My role as a teacher has changed, as you've heard in some of the presentations, where I'm not an instructor anymore so much as a facilitator, a coach, even a tutor. I know my students think of me of a team member in the classroom to help out with the learning process. I'm there to answer questions when needed based off of the videos that they've watched at home or during center time, and the students are expected to come with questions and then be able to apply their learning. Student learning has changed dramatically. I've seen much more independence this year than any other year. Students are independent learners and they have their own personalized learning path to follow. Students set goals for themselves and are expected to go back to their goals and check to see if they've achieved them or if they need to go and revisit, and that helps with the instructional videos. Collaboration has always been huge in my classroom, but this year there's been some more enrichment with the collaboration. Students are expected to work together with their neighbors to help each other in the learning process. And one enhancement this year is that we do have our mobile devices so that they're able to work with their Google Drives and collaborate in the classmate with today's Meet. We do blogging and also e-pals with global collaboration with classrooms around the world. One neat thing is that the students kind of took the initiative to share a Google Drive for themselves, and they are starting to have book discussions and setting up expectations. So it's really neat to see them have purposeful conversations through the devices. I ask my students to reflect on a daily basis on goals or questions that I might set with them, and one question I asked was how they think their learning has changed. Because obviously I see a huge change, and I was just curious about their reaction. So in the video, I asked two students to record their responses, and they focused mostly on the flipped classroom because that's the most dramatic to them. So I'll play that video for you.
using flipped classroom has dramatically changed my learning. Like, whenever we have an assignment, and if I don't get it, I just bring up my homework video. Sometimes our homework is to watch a video and take notes. It's like Miss Brink is right next to me when I'm doing my homework now. So I think we should go further into fifth classroom. It is a great idea.
Everything I feel like is right there for me to review and go over with myself to refresh my memory. It feels like I always have Miss Brink right there by my side. I can rewind and pause and take notes for things that I think are important or that I will need to refer to. I also like it because sometimes when my mom or dad isn't home to help, I could just go on the resource website and look for the video I want to play, whatever I like. Lastly, I like it because I can go on my own pace. When the majority of the class gets something, we move on to something new, and maybe I didn't get that, so I can go over it with myself, and I know that strategy.
Responses. And as you can see, something that I love about it is I'm able to multiply myself throughout the classroom and also go home with them if they need that extra support. You also probably heard that whole student ownership independence piece, which is huge with 21st century learning. This has only been a little bit over the year and we've done so much, and I'm just excited to see what's to come in the next years. Up next to talk about flipped classroom a little bit more is Ms. Crystal Conley.
To talk about, but Rebecca said a lot of it, so excuse me if I repeat. But what I want to talk about is what the flipped classroom is, and more importantly, why it's significant, and different classroom models like it for a shift to 21st century learning. The term flipped classroom is widely used to describe a change in the classroom structure that basically takes the classwork and homework and flips them around. So the lecture is done outside of class, like Ms. Brink said. Usually a teacher will record a video or choose a video online, and the students watch that at home. And then when they come back to class, there's some type of application activity or higher level thinking activity. It allows the teacher to go further and deeper. There's not one set model for the flipped classroom. You may find that as teachers get into it, they may not fully flip because it takes a lot of work, a lot of pre-planning. So teachers may decide to flip one class, or the junior high, we have 5 of them, so maybe one class or 2 classes at a time, instead of doing everything. They may choose to do 1 lesson a week instead of jumping into a fully flipped classroom, which can be a little daunting for teachers. One of the biggest changes for students with the flipped classroom, you heard a little bit in the video, but students can learn at their own pace. They have the opportunity to watch the videos whenever, wherever they are, whether they're sitting at the dinner table or in the car on the way to soccer practice or in between scenes for the musical, wherever, anywhere they need to. They can watch them as many times as they need to, they can rewind them, and it's like their teacher is sitting there next to them. Usually with in my classroom at least, I know that we give some additional assignment because we like to make sure that the students have some understanding from the video and aren't just watching passively. And then upon returning to school, that's when the fun begins, because that's when we can do the collaboration and create and analyze and give our students some of those college and career ready skills that we know that they need. why is the flipped classroom significant? It's one of the questions that we get a lot. The flipped classroom is really significant because we don't know what the world is going to look like for our students in 5 to 10 years. We can't even conceive of jobs that they will be applying for, things that have not even been conceived of yet. So the one thing we do know is that we need to prepare problem solvers and collaborators and students who can analyze and be good team members and listeners, that kind of thing. And with a limited number of minutes in class, you can't do that if you have to spend 45 out of 52 minutes lecturing. You just can't. We're limited with time. So what's the trade-off? The trade-off is they take the 5 to 7 minutes at home to watch the lecture, and then that gives the teacher the entire class period to really delve deeper into the curriculum. It's somewhat of a difference for students because a lot of them are used to being cast as the passive learners where teachers are spoon feeding them information, and that doesn't happen in a flipped classroom. They are definitely much more in charge of their learning and in charge of their learning pathways. Like the young girl said in the video, if she didn't understand and Ms. Brink went on, the videos are still there for her. She doesn't stop. Before, our students are taking notes from a lecture and they're so busy writing everything down, everything that the teacher is saying, that a lot of times they miss key concepts because they just can't focus on both things at the same time. And with the ability to rewind and pause, that takes all of that away from a teacher's lecture. Another thing that I've heard with our flipped classroom is that parents really enjoy it because a lot of our parents want to help their students at home. And as a 7th grade math teacher, a lot of parents tell me they don't know how to do that, which is fine. That's where the videos come in. And the parents sit there right along with their child and watch the videos, and they work through things together, which is pretty cool to hear that that happens. This is not the only innovative model that's out there. It's just one that a lot of our teachers are exploring. And I know that myself and Ms. Brink have found tremendous success. The learning that we've seen in our students is amazing. And I love the maturity that my 7th graders leave with, having had the experience of